Looks like we're live. Hey everybody. Had some audio issues tonight, so I'm having to stream from a couple different machines. Well, stream from one machine, audio from another machine. So, anyway, it's working. Just trying to get this other tweak going here. Why is that? There we go. Go live there. And that looks like it's going live there. No, you're supposed to be live. What's happening? Probably didn't update its page. Come on. Are we live there? Almost. It says offline there. Why does it say offline? Well, that's odd. That's not supposed to be the case. Alright, according to that, it says I'm live, but Twitch doesn't think I'm live for some reason. Oh, now it's doing audio through the wrong port. That's lovely. I'm getting talk back through the wrong thingy. Hold on a second here. Why is that doing that? Haven't used an old Mac to stream. That's why it's doing that. Okay. Wasn't smart enough about switching codecs. Now it's routing through the right thing. Cool. So I was playing with some new tools lately, and hello, Michael. Playing some new tools lately, and thought I'd just make some demos here real quick and see if people are around wanting to chat and interact and so forth. So I'm going to pin this. So people who normally like to join on camera and talk on audio or whatever can do that. Okay. I have to leave my audio on here for a little bit just so I can hear the YouTube audio pass through. Let's see if this works. Okay, cool. Volumes are the same. Good. Now I can mute that and see if anyone else is showing up here yet. So far, no. That's fine. That's what I get. It's a weird time. It's unannounced. People probably have to watch the replay. Anyway, so what's happening here is a couple software demos I wanted to play with. Recent acquisitions. I might even get a couple of MIDI controllers if I have some time at the end. One of them is still charging right now. So, was it ProSynth Network episode 291, I think it was? Ty Unwin was talking about this app combination, iOS app and Mac or PC app for field recording and making beats. And it was the back of my mind for a long time. I kept forgetting to go back and check it. So I had to go back and watch at lightning speed a whole bunch of PSNs until it jarred my memory that I saw the interface and I knew what it was. I forgot it was the Ty Unwin appearance, which would have been a lot easier to find if I remembered that. But anyway, he was unusually talking about this software app called Life. And so I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. And the app is free. Cool. And then you go look at, oh, wait, you have to buy the desktop app because the desktop app also includes cloud services. So this thing is seamless, essentially. You're paying for a cloud service for storage, basically, for your stuff. So this stuff is instantaneous to share. As soon as you put it in the app and you've paired the app with the desktop app, the stuff is immediately available to you, no matter what. So that's actually pretty cool. If it didn't have the cloud storage thing, the 150 would be kind of expensive. But once you see how this thing, it does a pretty clever kind of AI approach to auto selecting transients for you, and then using some semi-randomization or permutations that you can tweak manually to a point, but also just gives you a whole bunch of ideas to browse through. So you don't even have to think. You can just kind of use your ear and do some deeper editing if you feel like it, but a lot of times you don't really have to. It's a lot of fun, actually. What I should have done is mapped a MIDI controller to the interface, because what you have is, when you first open the program, you have this file browser and this thing at the bottom here. So we're in hold on a second, I turned the brightness down because this stupid USB camera was not behaving. Let me turn this up so I can read it real quick before I go back to the camera mode. Because you do need to see the colors. They make a big difference. So, like most audio programs, you have your audio MIDI features, this thing here, so you can go in there and tweak your routing. This is the source file. So if I just play the source file, you'll hear it's just a recording I did at Pete's this morning, Pete's Coffee. Okay, thanks a lot. I made sure to crunch the bags and make a couple extra noises there while it was recording. It only does like a 20-30 second recording, which is fine. So I had to do several in there to try and get some auto chopping. So this is one of the auto chops it did. But you can clearly hear.
All right, thanks a lot.
There's some banging of stuff there. And it came with a natural reverb, of course, which can be useful at times, because this doesn't have any built-in effects. It sounds like it does when it's sweeping through the plug, the transients and stuff, but it's just using your sound file. You have to use it as a plug-in in something like Ableton Live or some other DAW, to not only use it as a DAW recorder if you choose to, like a live performance, or to add effects on top of it, things like that, multiple track effects. But here's the editing mode where you can get really deep with it. So it's going to basically, you can drag slices to this area and do fine edits on the slices that are available in this list. And it still gives you the main interface here, so you can still play with the performance while you're doing some fine tuning here. And there's some other stuff at the bottom with tempo changes, some other stuff I haven't delved into yet. And then, of course, there's full export features, individual stems, baked wave files, all kinds of options when you're all done with it. And here you can even import audio and video with audio that you didn't even have, on your field recorder. So you're not bound to the field recorder. It just makes it cool and easy to do stuff in the field. So that's Pete's number one. Let's see. And again, there's the export thing here and some other options here. There's a fairly sparse interface when you're on the main Explorer tab here. Edit tab gets really busy. So, and there's a record feature here to record your live performance without using a DAW, because this is the standalone version, which is, I play with the DAW version a little bit, but I'm not much of a DAW person right now. Just want to learn the tools by themselves. So let's go ahead and turn down. You've seen all the. I'm going to stay in the Explorer mode for most of the time. I'm not going to stay in the edit mode. It's just too busy, and I care more about the quick and dirty stuff right now. So let's turn this down so you can actually see the colors properly. I had to zoom because unfortunately the program interface is not scalable. Maybe this version isn't, the next one might be, so I just did a magnify feature on Windows. It's fine. Anyway, so there you go. You get some different colors. And here's what it sounds like without any tweaks. You have these little slices. As you make tweaks and stuff, you can save little time slices here with all the settings you've used. So one more thing I forgot to mention. Turn the brightness up again. There's a randomize function here, and there's a browse function. Browse lets you choose various flavors of auto dicing that it did for you, auto transient selections, auto tweaks and stuff. And you can see the multiple pages here. So without even doing much editing, you can just start hitting slices on here before you even, hit randomize or do a bunch of these little kind of XY pad disc adjustments here. But it'd be really cool to map these to joysticks, since they look like little joysticks and they're 360 pretty much. So to get like 2 chaos pads, like a MIDI like chaos pad, those little Korg controllers that have touch pads on them, or some other kind of configuration that you can MIDI map those. It'd be fun to map this to this so you can do more live stuff without using a damn mouse. But here you go. So this is what it sounded like right out of the auto slice. So you can see how it's jumping around the different slices. Kind of looks like that Buchla sequencer. Actually, it's kind of cool. The multi-ring Buchla sequencer. So while you're playing with this, you can just start messing around with these different settings. So some of it's filtery, granular kind of stuff. Some of it's doing different slices on this one. See, it's jumping around, grabbing different slices. So you get some variations. And then there's the browse button, and here's the randomize function. And then down here you have some little dials for, there's a, what's this one say here? It's syncopate. There's one, I think it's called detail. So it's also changing slices a little bit. Here's syncopate. So if you don't like that one again, let's try another one it chose for me. Very cool. That's like a 9 Inch Nails riff right there. Again, it's just noises from a coffee shop. So if I like this one, I'll make a slice of that. Make a slice of that. Let's change this one a little bit. Got repeat functions in there. Turn this up a little bit. So there you go. And from that, you can just now jump between the selections I've made. So, pretty cool. And basically, the app looks like this. I have a bunch of recordings already in here, so I just name them. You're missing some of the colors because the screen is very bright. Let me turn the screen brightness down here. So, if you saw the list I brought up before, these are the exact same browse list, and it instantly mirrors with our cloud service. Once you've paired this with the whatever computer you're using, once you've saved it on the app, it's immediately available to browse through their cloud app in the Life application on your computer. So I have a whole bunch of them I did today. Several at Pete's Coffee, one at the salad place, and one just walking around outside, just hoping to get some noise. I even did a couple little with my mouth just to make something different. In fact, I'll do one right now. Check this out. I'll make a brand new one live on camera. Do the recorder in front so you can see that I'm actually recording it now. Make a short one. Doesn't have to be full. Save it. Let's call that one mouth. I need to brighten this back again. GH mouth. Save it back to the show back to the screen. That's the saving prompt here. You can choose the color you want to give it. It gives you can preview the file here. You can play it live. And there's some other little tweaks here you can do with it, but I'm just leaving it default. So I'll just hit save. Bam, it's in my list. Now, you go up here and you go to, there's mouth right there. Go to mouth, load it up, instantly start making beats out of my goofy mouth noises. Let's see what it chose for me automatically. Ratchets in there. A little syncopation. Let's try one of the auto selections here. They sound like legit percussion. Now, let's try another one. Random. And there's a master tempo here, so if you want to just... Oh, wait a minute, that's volume, sorry. This is tempo, I think. Well, I made the interface so dark I can't read what I'm doing. There's a tempo setting down there somewhere, sorry. I don't want to keep playing with the stupid brightness. But you get the idea. It's obviously does not locked on this tempo, and you can also tweak the syncopation. There's various other settings here. Let's do one more. Oh, that's cool, the ratchets. And there's a mode where you can kind of add more slices here that it didn't select. I just haven't figured that out yet. Just still playing with the app, but I can fire them off manually. So yeah, you can remember what slices which. You don't have to actually add it to your set. You can just tweak it. So there you go. That's some wacky mouth settings. Let's go to Pete's again. I had some other good ones at Pete's that were kind of fun. Pete's 2 or Pete's 3? I forgot which one it was. Also, the salad place, they were banging around these metal tins that they have the hot food in. Try that one real quick. I think it was salad 3, maybe. What's up, Steve? You can jump in if you want. I got the link up there. So for those that came late, this is that app Ty was talking about several months ago on PSN called Life. And there's a companion app. And when you sign up for the companion, the iOS app or Android app is free. Looks like this. I have a bunch of recordings in it. But it automatically syncs with their cloud app, their cloud system, which is part of your fee. It's not a subscription. It's just looks like it's a one-time fee for what I could read. I don't know. I didn't read that closely. But it immediately makes whatever field recording available. And then when you bring it in, it automatically chops it up with these little AI tools and finds all the transients for you. And then gives you all these cool little tweaks to live. So this is one it automatically selected. You can choose a whole bunch of automatically selected ones based on what it read from the file, making its own mind up. And as you can see, it's grabbing different transients, different pieces of things, and see what happens. This one will continue to choose different transients. So you can find something that you like, change on different timing settings and stuff. So this is exploiting the natural reverb in some of the slices and doing some other little magic to it. Some metallic bits there. Very drummy. And again, you can save slices of things you like here as you navigate, find stuff you like. And if you also want to find other ones to add that it didn't, you can either play them live along with it, or you can go edit it and add them to the that's a good one there. So you can just play along with it. So it's a lot of fun, actually. I don't know if I'd be using it all the damn time, but you know, it's colorful, it's easy to use. There's some deeper functions I haven't even touched on yet. This is all I could just figure out by a super quick glance at the little primer they have, look at the PDF file. That just, I didn't read the thing carefully. I'm like, how am I going to sync this with my thing? Oh shit, that's why. It's actually it's already in the software. When you sync the app with the phone, it's already ready to go. I thought I had to use some kind of like a Dropbox thing or something else to do it, but I just, being stupid, didn't read the fine print. So it actually was ready to go out, once I synced them. I didn't have to do anything special. Just go out and make some field recordings with the thingamajig. Or, like I was showing earlier, there's an import button right here, and you can grab whatever appropriate audio file off your computer. Obviously, it wants to work in these smaller file sizes. I think this is 30 seconds. But, so yeah, it just automatically chops them up, and then if you're really crazy and you want to do more with it, there's deep editing there. Per slice, you can actually change characteristics per slice. So you see the color coded here. There's the purple, the pink one, there's the reddish one, there's the yellow one, there's the etc., etc. And you can drag and drop slices you want to add to here and edit. This is what I was talking about, where you can make your own custom tweaks. You can just drag a slice in here and do that. And then you can also export to stems or to WAV files, either individual or a master WAV file. On the main page you saw there's a the import. There's also a record button here. It's grayed out right now. And so you can record your session on the stand. This is the standalone. There's also a 2 different VST3 plugins. One is called the DAW recorder. So I opened it in Ableton Live just to see what it looked like, and it's interesting. But there's also a exact version of this inside of Ableton Live if you want to load it that way. So you can load multiple instances and run effects, run them through effects in Ableton or whatever you have mapped in your DAW. So it's way deeper than what I'm showing you here. I'm just showing you the standalone app because I like the standalone stuff a lot. But again, you can record sessions here, export from here, and just make individual files here that you could dump into your hardware sampler or Groovebox or whatever. You don't have to use the DAW at all. You just do it all, process it all through here, and use the effects inside your DAW. Inside of your Groovebox or whatever. So I'm going to start making some exports, dumping them in my Machina Plus, and having some fun with that. There's some great effects inside there, and more tweakable live features I can do on top of what these recordings are doing. So I think it'll be a fun little experiment. So that is live. I don't want to spend too much time on it because you kind of get the idea. I just had a bunch of different slices with I made different recordings with Pete's Coffee, the salad place. I just did the one with my mouth live, so you got to see that. It's kind of wacky. The other thing I wanted to show was the PhasePlant thing. Kent was trying to get it to work with his Rolli, but right out of the box, I just tried it with my Seaboard, and it was beautiful. Didn't have to do any tweaks inside of Ableton Live. So let's go ahead and do that here real quick. I'm going to quit live. So it's XLN Audio is the company, and it's called Live. All right, let's go to, yeah. I'm probably gonna, I shouldn't have to zoom my display for this, but I will probably have to, well, let's leave it zoomed for now in case it's too small on the camera. Let's go to Ableton Live. Okay, yeah, I'm going to get rid of the zoom. This is a much bigger window. Okay, so I'm just going to go to VST3. I need the brightness again. This USB camera does not auto adjust nicely, so I have to do it for it. Damn, now the text is so goddamn small in here and I'm too far away from it. So let's do the zoom. So you go to kilohertz, PhasePlant. Get rid of this goddamn thing here. So obviously I didn't save any special setup, so it comes up empty. You have to load. Go down to this is the delicious section. These are all the MPE add-ons. As a partner with Osmo, so go into pads. And it should automatically go Hopefully that's not too loud. Give you a quick look at what I'm doing here. I have the Seaboard hooked up right here. Rolly Seaboard Rise 49. I was using it with the small one too, which worked quite well. So yeah, this window's not. Does this stretch? Yeah, this does stretch good. So you can see that window better. So I can just stay inside this window and just navigate presets here. I don't have to go back to Ableton because I'm not going to record anything. So just give you a quick demo of some of the stuff you can do. So I'm doing basically the 5Ds of touch. So there's pressure, slide, which is going up and down the key, glide, which is obviously side to side on the keys, like glissando kind of stuff, or portamento action if you have portamento turned on. And you have lift, so you have the release velocity, and you have the key wiggle. And they're all here, right out of the box. I didn't even change anything. So I'm going to push one key down. That's the pressure. See the wiggle there? Waveforms are wiggling nicely. Slide. Timbre change. Just one finger on one key. And it should do release velocity. Let's see. Pressure all the way down. It depends on the patch. So it's there if it wants to use it. And of course, poly. Only wiggling one key. The other one is static. Even individual slide per key. Using the up and down ribbons. So yeah, that's just the first preset, and delicious. Let's go through a couple more. It's called Analog Dreamscapes. Celestial Drift. So very sensitive. I'm barely pushing the key at all. Slide. So magic there as I'm doing the slide. Changing the timbre. Doing some granular stuff, looks like, from those little particles. Wiggle again. So, some nice sounds on there. I'm going to have to mute her shortly. She just got home. She's going to make a bunch of noise coming in, so I'm going to mute the mic any minute now. So you'll hear a little dead spot. Nice timbre. Very different than the stuff obviously you get with Egan Matrix. which is why I can't likes it so much. It's a slide function. Alright, bear with me, I'm going to mute shortly here. Still here, I'm not going anywhere. Alright, so here's another. This one's called Interstellar Enigma. Yeah, pretty damn expressive, I must say. This is Moody. Again, any of you guys want to jump in here? If Steve, if you're still here, want to jump on cam, chat for a bit. I'll be here for a while. This one's more of a monophonic one, it seems like. This keeps cutting into the other one. oboe strings. Well, that's fun. Fun, fun, fun. Hey, look who it is. Oops. Hold on. Uh-oh. Come on. It's stuck. Why is it stuck? There we go.
Hello, hello, hello. I came in.
Hello, hello.
I'm in.
Not hearing you on here for some reason.
Oh, really?
Are you muted?
No, I can hear me in my mixer. One sec. It's probably on my end. My roadcast is probably not right. Let me change the mic.
Give me a minute here. Why is it not coming through on my end?
I can see the green on the on the
Should be
thing.
coming through. Not muted.
Yeah. It blinks green when I test it.
Let me do this. Let me switch. I think I have it wrong.
That's from me from before.
Where is it? God damn this thing. In my haste, I think I plugged it on the wrong side here. My bad. Hold on a second. Yeah. There's the hole. Let me switch the interface over. Hello, hello?
Hello.
Why is that doing that? Input is still this codec. Output is the headphones. That should work. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if I'm talking to you in the past or you in the present, but
I think the StreamYard end is confused. Audio mic is there. Speaker is
hi.
not internal speakers. I want the output. Hello? Is that better?
Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing.
Uh-oh. Now it's stuck. Can you still hear me on the mic?
I can, yeah.
I'm not getting your audio for some reason.
I can see green on the
What did I
settings.
do wrong? Yeah.
You know, when I talk, I see it green on the StreamYard.
Bear with me.
Yep.
So I get for trying to use two computers and be too clever. I did something weird in the setup.
Yeah.
Usually I use the one computer, but because I wanted to also have the VST shared out.
No, I don't hear anything, but just in case you're wondering. Yep, on playback, I'm right there.
How about now? Can you guys hear me on the microphone? Hello, hello, hello. Ah, you're back. Add. No, add. Trying to add. Why isn't it add to stage? There we go.
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool. This stupid Behringer interface and two computers and I don't know what's happening. And this even sounds like crap now. I'm not sure why. Let me play something real quick and see if you can still hear the keyboard.
Okay. Yep.
You can.
Still there.
Why does it sound like shit on here? God damn it. I try to make it better by having oh, that's why. Hold on. I'm not going to make any changes because I'll probably lose connection. StreamYard's real picky. If you lose audio for sure, it will just drop your connection if you don't have a camera. Sometimes the camera by itself will screw up the stream if you lose camera. It's a cool interface, but it's kind of picky. Let me just double check the system preferences on the Mac real quick and see what happened there. So it's on headphones.
Locking it up.
Oh, really?
It does that. You have to open
input.
things in the right order.
Okay, so it looks like it should be okay now. I mean, I'm hearing myself, but is that because... Do you have your browser open at the same time? Or are you monitoring the audio?
It's definitely closed.
Okay. So there's a weird... I created some weird audio loop where I can hear myself, which is odd.
Right, but without it, you were minus my mix, so...
No, I get it. I get it. So I'll just live with it. As long as you can still hear stuff.
I can. Sounds good. It's cool out.
Yeah, PhasePlant is... I don't know if you've been watching PSN or whatever. So, but I don't think you haven't been on stream before, have you?
No.
Nice to meet you. So I'm Andy, Synth Addict, and there's some lurkers usually in here. Steve is in Australia, but he might not come on if it's a weird time for him.
Sure. Everybody's in bed here.
Yeah, there are a couple of people. I made this late enough for sometimes people in the UK can join because they're basically
morning.
Yeah, it's their early morning. And some people are already up and stuff.
Cool.
So they occasionally jump on, but I normally try to do something in around, if I'm not busy, I'll do something at lunchtime, so it's their evening.
Oh yeah.
Because often either Kent Spong, if you don't know Kent Spong,
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah.
he often does a pub of some kind of thing, and so I think it mostly happened during the pandemic when people are just kind of bored and lonely. And so he started doing that, and it's really fun. If you go back and watch those, if you haven't seen them, they're hilarious. But some got taken down for various reasons, not by YouTube, but by people said, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that on stream. Take it down, please," or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Rand's shouted me out a couple of weeks ago. You guys were talking about the 6 oscillators and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. There's another one of those coming up. I'm doing it with Eddie.
Right.
So we did one show already. You're going to do another one, I guess, in a couple weeks. So we'll see how that goes. I might have a schedule conflict. I might have to talk to Eddie about it. I'm not sure yet. So far, I think I'll be okay, but it's just one of those things you got to keep an eye on, because it's fun to schedule things so people know to be ready for you and have a regular thing.
Right.
But life gets in the way. Yeah, life gets in the way sometimes. You can't do that. So what's your deal? Are you just a tinker? Are you a professional? Or are you?
No, amateur completely. I've been in bands, for the last 30, 40 years, but
Yeah.
I'm in one now. I'm in a Melancholy Circus. I play bass.
Oh,
It's,
cool.
Kind of prog rock, kind of.
Do you do synth bass at all?
That's what I'm trying to get into, and that's
Okay.
why I was interested, because I've got a Bogue over there, which I want to hook my bass through.
Sure.
Put it through the ladder filter.
Yep.
And I'm not having a lot of success because it just seems to overload the channel or whatever you're playing on the keys, like with my feet. I have foot pedals. And it doesn't really sound like anything. Like I can't make the bass do the cool stuff that the ladder filter has, and that's what I was kind of hoping for.
Oh. Well, the other options too. I mean, I don't know how crazy you want to get, but you can. I know it's a little trickier on the bass end because of the speed of receiving the signal and encoding it to MIDI.
Yeah.
But there are pickups. There are MIDI bass pickups you can get.
Right.
But and it's a trickier thing because you get too low frequency, it has triggering errors or timing issues or whatever, which Eddie talked about a little bit on the first show. The next show will be more about, because I dropped a hint on the first show about, I showed a couple basic interface boxes and what I've used, because I'm just a tinkerer.
Yeah.
And he said, we should do, the next show will be basically about that. It'll be what equipment to get you started if you don't already have it.
Right.
So,
like on my Helix too, there's there are synth effects in there, and I can pretty much get what I need out of that. But it's just I want the ladder filter from the Bogue. I'm like, I really wanted to hear what that would do to it.
Oh, it would be great. I mean, that's essentially what people like, basically what Pete Townsend did with their ARP 2600 on a lot of their stuff. He's running the guitar through that synth. Also, the 2500 for a while. He used that on a couple things, but mostly like Bob O'Reilly is a guitar going through an ARP 2600.
Right.
And of course, Who Are You has a bunch of synthy
synth
stuff in it. And yeah, that's great. And since it's so cheap now from Behringer, you can get one and be Pete Townsend basically. So kind of.
Yeah. I mean, years ago I was on Rand's show when he first started, and I had a whole
really?
bunch more keyboard type stuff around me, but I've only got a MIDI controller now.
Oh, I see.
Everything else is software now.
Yeah,
Just 'cause
yeah.
of money, except for that Bogue.
Oh, I don't blame you. I'm doing a quick audio check with my phone. I just want to see how, because I sound like crap on here, but I just want to hear what the audio sounds like on my phone. Okay, I might be clipping a little bit, but it isn't too
A little
bad.
bit, yeah.
Let me turn this down a tad on this end. I think it's my mic is clipping. Is that better, or is it still?
It actually is. It's a little
Okay.
bit less rough, yeah.
Yeah, so using this little portable mixer, I've used this a lot. Instead of using the pass-through software, which is why I'm using 2 laptops, this is my kind of workaround here, where I basically have a little Adderall mixer,
Mm-hmm.
a converter for an XLR headset mic, converter right there, that middle thing, and I'm wearing that under my headphones, so it looks like I have a headset mic, but it's actually two items, and then I have some other stuff plugged into it here with that, and that's going through the little Behringer interface, little crappy $25 interface.
Yep. Hey, it works.
And it's to the computer. I mean, it's until I started tweaking stuff to make sure you guys could hear me, I could hear what I was playing through the Behringer interface. So the headphones are plugged right into the interface, and which was my first problem. And I think that's why I couldn't hear you talk, because I was only hearing what I was outputting and not what was going into it. So, but now on my end it sounds like crap. But as long as it's going to the stream, okay, that's okay.
It sounds fine now.
Yeah. So then, because normally what I would do is use the same rig with the computer, just one computer joining StreamYard, and then not present anything, except the built-in camera.
Yeah.
Or it can do NDI with the iPhone.
Or you can do screen share too to show your screen instead of the.
And that's possible too, but it doesn't always work. I don't know. I got mixed results on that.
The audio can be tricky.
Yeah, so I just, because I also wanted the audio of it, I just said, just use two different computers. And
that's why I was fighting with all of that stuff until I got that.
Yeah.
That just fixes everything. Because there's a matrix in it, you can take things out, mix minus, and it works out great.
Which unit is that?
The Duo 2.
By, who's it by?
Rode.
Oh, okay.
Duocaster 2.
So it's meant for podcasting, right? Okay.
Yeah, but it does so much more.
Yeah.
In the effects in it, I can actually do like vocal covers and have vocals from the headset, and which is great because then I can move around the room and not have to like stand at a mic. It's really cool.
So I have, so I'm basically got a poor man's version of that, a bunch of things cobbled together. I do have a knockoff of the Rode wireless mics. Ramsey uses the good Rode ones.
Yep.
Someone recommended this Chinese one. It's like half the price, and it's basically a copy. I mean, they ripped off the Rode one essentially. Yeah. But I got them on Amazon, and they were cheap, and they work great. I've used them in a bunch of streams in my actual studio, so those are handy as well.
This has Bluetooth, like you're saying, because of those mics, but you can also do your phone through it. So a lot of times I'll do a synth through the phone. Or the iPad, and
sure.
It goes into a channel on the Rodecaster, or I do it on the computer and pull up like Omnisphere or something like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've collected a bunch of soft synths over the years.
I'll have to look at that one. I mean, so far this is working for me because how many inputs do you get on that mixer?
Inputs, not many. There's the left and right basically, but you get the input from your from your microphone in the front. I'll show you. Let me move the camera. I'll show you. So there's left and right in the back, right there, and then the other two are the monitor out, and then the other gold jack you see is for his two headphones.
Okay, and it has those buttons for your sound effects and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can do vocal effects, or you can put waves on them.
Yeah.
Then there's also two USB-C. Let me see if I put that right there. And then a third one in a weird way. And then you get Bluetooth. So between that jack, the Bluetooth, those two inputs, it feels like 4 or 5.
Okay. Yeah, I think Nick covered that on Sonic State a long time ago. I remember seeing that device before.
It's really cool.
It's a cool idea. The cool thing about this setup is this has also digital I/O if I want to use it, but I don't normally use it. So you have SPDIF and optical I/O on it.
Nice.
But it also has basically 6 stereo ins, or 12 mono ins, however I want to do it.
Right.
So it's pretty feature packed for a tiny little battery operated mixer. I mean, these weren't only around for a few years, made by Edirol. And I quickly gobbled up as many as I could on eBay and stuff because
I have a Steinberg one that has 4 inputs in the front, 2 in the back. It's pretty much the same deal.
Oh, it's great. And you just throw it in your bag. You don't just have batteries in there. They last a long time.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'm missing is USB audio, because this is before that existed, right?
Okay.
This is, but it's got everything else. It's got, like I said, SPDIF and optical for high quality audio in and out if you want to. But
Nice.
it's I don't use that feature. It's just it's like an old.
You could probably put a pre-rack, like a bunch of pre's through that too. Slave.
Probably, yeah. And it's cool too because right now the mic is actually going through one of the main channels and on just a mono, because it's if you put it in the mono jack, it routes properly to both sides, and it has a nice gain knob on those special ones, like most things that do mics as well. They have their own special gain knob, so that way I'm able to use it for all different kinds of inputs, which
and
is
hopefully
cool.
a clip light.
Well, this one doesn't have that. I have to listen for that. That's why it was clipping. But it's a subtle thing. I should have checked it better before I started the stream. Usually I do a quick audio check with all the knobs, but I was like, I'll just fire this up and do it. So did you see the drum thing I was doing earlier with the Life program?
No. Oh yes, yeah. No, the app you were showing.
Yeah, the app with the audio recordings, and then
Yeah, and you went to the copy shop and made. I definitely saw that. That was cool.
That thing is nuts. I mean, it's it looks gimmicky at first, but it could actually be really useful if you. I mean, Ty Unwin, if you know Ty Unwin, he's very picky and he complains about everything. Only has the best of the best, and he recommended it.
Yeah.
So that was a weird one. It's like, this guy likes this. This
How much
is
is
interesting.
the cloud service?
So that's the deal. The app is free, and then the computer installation, which includes the cloud service, is $150.
Okay.
Now, when you consider that's not supposed to be a subscription, unless I missed something in the fine print. It's a one-time. It's not like Rolling Cloud where you pay like $300 a year or $200 a year, whatever. It's $150, I think, in perpetuity. I don't know. I have to read the fine print. But for now, if it's for a year, I'll use it for a year. If I don't like it, I'll stop it. But I think it's a good deal because as soon as you install everything, the app pairs with the other app. And that's you saw how it instantly recorded the goofy mouth sounds, and then it was there ready to go. So there's no thinking. It's seamless, and it just works, and you can make some crazy-ass rhythms with
I
that
thought
thing.
it was quite musical.
Yeah, you can do some, obviously, picking better sound choices. And because it allows the, it has that little drop-down thing to take stuff off your desktop, you could just load, this is, again, the standalone version. You could just load a bunch of sounds you made on your synths or whatever that are high quality.
Right.
And just let those get chopped up. Or drum machine or whatever. You don't have to use the app and your little microphone and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And it has DAW integration, so you can use it inside of Ableton or whatever. You don't have to use the standalone app. So it's very interesting. I'm surprised no one came up with that sooner.
Yeah, no, it's neat. Definitely. You got a field recorder in your pocket instantly.
Because I used a thing a while back called Voice Band that was kind of clever. Have you seen there's that microphone with the built-in USB cable, and it's hooked to an app on your computer, and it's used to trigger sounds on the computer itself. It's a custom-made app, and I always forget the name of the app because I've only used it a few times, but I was part of I think I was on the Kickstarter or something, I forgot. But they do this. You see the ads on Facebook and YouTube once in a while, but it's audio-driven rhythms and stuff, but also synthy bits. It does pitch tracking. So you sing or hum into the mic or go psh, 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 whatever, and you can teach it, like, for this sound I want this sound to go, and for this sound I want that sound to go, and you just sit there and just riff, and it builds music for you in patterns you could probably never play because your mouth is quicker than your fingers are. Yeah. And because you can hum or sing into it with the pitch tracking, you can also play stuff maybe you couldn't play with keys if you're not a good player. So it allows you to do music with essentially pitch to MIDI and pitch and sound to trigger for drum stuff. And I always forget the name of it. I have to go install it again. But I came across the mic the other day and I forgot to use it all this time, and I needed to try it out. But there was a thing on the iPhone for a while called Voice Band. It was a much more primitive version of the same thing. And
sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't know you would hear that.
It's a much more primitive version where you you set 4 sounds on this app, and you make 4 different noises. You either teach it or or it tells you what to do. I forgot. And based on what noise you use, it plays a certain drum sound. And so you can just go onto your phone, and it's building songs for you. Kind of an interesting idea. So
Yeah, that's cool.
and the app may not even be around anymore, but it's one of those early days apps. It was probably like 5 years ago on the iPhone.
Yeah.
So these other guys came up with that idea to take it further with a proper mic and no weird interface. Just turn it on, hit a few things, and just go to town with your mouth.
That's really cool.
It's a cool idea, so I need to fire it up again because I like, if you've watched any of my other streams or videos, I like alternative weird ass stuff. So
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
weird controllers, weird. That's why Life was cool because it's kind of a weird idea, but it's also practical. So and
So
I've
the
done.
app's called Life? What is it called?
It's hold on, I'll get the actual. I'll bring it up here, and it says the name of the company at the top. I always forget the name. It's some kind of acronym for the company. It is. Oops, hold on. Went behind the window. No. That one. There it is. XLN Audio Life.
Okay.
So if you just search XLN Audio in the App Store, you'll see the free app. And then do XLN Audio website, and you'll see the Life. They make other products too. But
Okay, yeah, no, I got it here, yeah. Cool.
And it's fun because it's colorful. It's pretty straightforward to use. I only had a little bit of reading to make sure I understood what all the parameters were right in my face.
Yeah.
But there's some deeper stuff I need to learn about how to manually tweak the slices better and do things like that. But out of the box, it was pretty amazing. Hey, what's up, Paul? Yeah, I was doing some stuff with Life first when I started doing some weird audio recordings to percussion, things like that. And now I'm playing around with
I'm going to save it off, take a look at it
PhasePlant.
later.
Because PhasePlant, you're watching Kent doing the live stream with trying to get the Osmos to work with PhasePlant, and he had all kinds of issues, partly because of Cubase, because Cubase is weird. But I'm using Ableton Live and just opening Ableton Live, opening PhasePlant, no tweaks whatsoever. It already sees my ROLI Seaboard, and I'm able to just do my 5Ds, slide, glide, pressure, wiggle, all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. I'm just going through a couple more of these. There's some
That
funny.
control is awesome, that Seaboard.
Yeah, I really like it a lot. A lot of people, I hate it feels like dead flesh. I'm like, well, so what? It works. I don't care what it feels
It's
like.
so expressive, you know?
Yeah, I don't care what it feels like. I just like the.
Because I rake my fingers across my keys that way, and it hurts after a while.
Oh, exactly, yeah. This one's called Midnight.
Hey, Paul.
So it's like breathy stuff and atmospheric stuff. I can't hear it as well as I did before because the audio is routed so weird.
Right.
Um,
I use Cubase. It locks up all the audio.
there's a marimba with a after sound. So yeah, pretty cool program. And
Really functional synth, too, it looks like.
and because you're basically with this bundle, you're getting the real program at half price plus all the Osmos goodies, or Poly AT sound goodies, which is
Yeah.
pretty fun. So I got there's the 4 main ones it came with. Delicious. What is this one? Delicious. On Omrica Vol 1, Omrica Vol 2, and Stripes. There's supposed to be a fourth one that you have to pay a little more for. But it's, yeah, you know, give you some nice stuff. I'm mainly just playing with the pads and stuff because it's really fun to play on the Osmos because they evolve.
Yeah.
Or on the Rolly.
Okay, so that PhasePlant, that's a separate product.
It's a product that's already been out for a while,
Yeah.
and then they partnered with Expressive E to
Right.
make, because you know, like Kent likes more realistic instruments, so he's a lot of string instruments and brass, things like that. Classical or soundtrack kind of stuff more than, even though he likes synths, obviously like the CS80, all the Vangelis stuff and all that. When he plays a lot, he tends to like the more realistic sounds. So when he first got the Osmos, he's like, ugh, what are all these weird fucking sounds on this thing? And I'm like, I like the weird sounds. I like all sounds pretty much. I mean, within reason, which is why I also like FM. FM is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not really feeling it. I'm like, well, that's, you know, the idea is to be expressive, not necessarily to make realistic instruments. Although there are some killer sounds on the Egan Matrix for Osmos, like the Bansuri flute, the Indian style flute, and some of the other breathy wind kind of stuff, and some of the, because it has a mix of FM, physical modeling, some VA, some other kinds of stuff all mixed together. Depends how they made the patch. So the only limitation is your programming skills, kind of. You know, it's not. So I've heard a few very realistic sounds on there. It's just that nobody bothered, other than a couple patches, to try to make any realistic strings on there. The one solo violin sounds quite nice, but it's not going to have all the articulations you would expect for violin because it's not.
Right.
So that's why you buy those special libraries where they've mapped all the damn expressions and CCs to give you all that stuff if you really need that. That wasn't the point of the Osmos. The point of the Osmos is give you just overall really cool expression of stuff. Yeah. So that's why for wind stuff it was amazing because you can get you do this this special portamento mode where it's a pressure portamento. So as you slowly come off a key to another key, you get this beautiful woo, like a flute would do. This kind of it's not just a ooh, 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 ooh. It's a ooh, ooh, ooh kind of thing, like a real flute would do. So when you hear someone who knows what a flute sounds like and can play well, watch out. It's pretty amazing on Osmos.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have all the stuff he expected it to have. But you know, it just wasn't the target. So now this thing is cool. These things come along with extra. Give you the control that you want, but totally different soundscapes and
I'm looking at Osmos
engines.
now. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was going to pull it out, but I wanted to just do plug and play, and because when I first turned this on and put my little mini Seaboard into it, just sitting on the couch, I'm like, this thing works great out of the box. You just plug and play. There's no tweaking. Obviously, there's some, you know. One of the things about the Seaboard, if you don't know the regular Seaboard, is you have these little cool controls to tweak your dynamics. So not only do you have your octave switch, but you have your preset settings here, jumping through presets. And these three, which also changes based on this. If I hold this down, it goes to another mode of control, and then another mode of control. So you have two layers of controls, which turn the amount of pressure off and the amount of other kinds of, you know, expression that you'd expect to find on this guy.
Oh, that's cool.
So that and the little guy obviously doesn't have room for that. Little guy only has the octave switch,
right,
and just enough room at the top and bottom to do the ribbon effect, because you know about the ribbon effect where the
Yeah. Yeah.
Above the keys, you have this whole giant ribbon up here.
Yep.
And they're top and bottom, so you can do two simultaneously. And it's fun to do that kind of horror movie sound effect where they're both going opposite directions. So if I can do it, let's see if I can do this one. Depends on the preset if I can do it right. This is triggering, is the way it's programmed. Had to find another preset that works with it. So that's PhasePlant. It's pretty fun. And if some of you haven't seen Equator before, I figure what the hell, I'll play with Equator for a while too. Actually, I have all the ROLI stuff on here. Cypher 2 and Strobe 2. There's my little ROLI. Let's do Equator 2. This is where you get the full-on expression, because it's just mapped out of the box, ready to go. Skip. Alright. So, it does this. Let's go back to the zoom, just so it's easier to fit it on here. Yeah, a little bit too close. Let's go back one. Okay. Oops, I have to tell it to go to the output. It doesn't know about the output. It has to be taught. Headphone. Alright, that should do it.
Yep.
So depends on the preset. Let me find there's this cool navigation thing. So if you want filters, you can quickly go, I want acoustic, I want some brass,
The Cubase browser
articulation, yeah, a little breathy, and timbre, atmospheric. Only give me one. Same time. Track my fingers at the bottom. These two circles.
Sounds great.
Equator's amazing.
So is it the trick now that you have the ROLI, like you have to find synths that can actually take advantage of all the stuff you can do?
Well, so some industrious person figured out the trick. Because this is the first board to have Hawken Continuum. Wasn't quite doing MPE. I don't think it was doing something else. I don't know. It's kind of blurry when this stuff started coming out. But when this came out, they were using like their own kind of flavor of MPE. They called it multi-dimensional polyphonic expression, because they're like one of the only guys doing it. So there was no standard, and now they call it MIDI polyphonic expression. But it's kind of the same. But they have this 5 Ds of touch. Slide, glide, pressure, wiggle, and release. And so what this guy figured out, this German guy, this really interesting video where he figured out, okay, well, all MPE is doing in this mode, at least on the Seaboard at the time, was just separate MIDI channels.
Yeah.
So he goes, okay, fine, I have a multi-timbral module. So he got it his Matrix 1000, did a few little tweaks, ran the USB through his computer to a MIDI interface to his Matrix, and he was doing MPE on his Matrix.
That's cool.
Because, which is just, as long as you know how it works, you can make it work. Yeah, you can make it work. Even though MPE wasn't even a thing back then. It's just, he just figured it out. So I thought that was very, very clever. Now the newest one, I still have the original Seaboard Rise, but the Rise 2 actually did a few changes with the keys and stuff and the color. And they also added a dedicated MIDI out jack. It's a TRS MIDI, so the little dongle-y thing.
Okay.
Or is it USB or both? I forgot. There's some kind of a weird, it's not just plug and play, but Kent said he was able to hook it to a standalone MIDI synth and play it properly with the Roli without using the computer. This one I can't do that. I can Bluetooth to things. So I've done things where I Bluetooth it to my phone,
right.
Use a Mio off the camera connection kit on my phone, and hook that to whatever synth I want. Same thing I did with the Orba and the Corda and all these other weird controllers that are Bluetooth. You can just use that phone interface to do anything.
Right.
So that's what I have to do with the Roli stuff now. If it doesn't take Bluetooth directly, I have to do this kind of jump through hoops. But it works great. There's no latency. It works really well. But the new one would be nice because you could literally plug right into another piece of gear, no computer,
right.
and just use it as a controller.
But with the Rodecaster, I could do that too. I could definitely slave the phone and I did a USB hub probably, and then you could hook all that without a computer.
Yeah, it's cool stuff.
Yep.
Let's go to. No. How do I turn? Let me turn all the filters off. There we go.
So this fader port right here, speaking of gear, like that is compatible or not compatible. Tried to hook this thing up today.
Oh yeah, those are old. Yeah,
It's so old. It doesn't even do CC messages. It has two CC messages, one down and one up, and they're all the buttons and faders all of the same one, and then it's notes. That's like not even CC.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sucks. And in Cubase, it won't let me map notes in the little matrix builder properly. Like it does it, but it doesn't work as. So I got some of the buttons that work on the bottom, but anything with a fader or it doesn't work. It's stupid.
That's why it pays to, if you're going to have old stuff like that, keep plenty of other old stuff for it from the time period, so that it all work together. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go trade it in for like a tiny little, I don't know, what a little MIDI controller with just that sends CC messages. There's a used one up at the store. I'll probably just go even trade.
Sure, yeah. God, there's so many presets in there. I forgot what they are. I'm just gonna pick one here. What's
Someone's asking, does it need Mackie control to work? Is that for me?
Probably for you, yeah.
I don't know, but it maps the notes just fine. You can learn each button you click each thing, and the buttons can work, but not the faders won't.
Here's one called Ethereal Midnight Sun. The F is that. Sour notes and you do it just wrong. So another fun thing is Equator's cool, but then there's these other apps. I think I have it installed. Let's see if I'm lying to myself. I may have forgotten to authorize them because I was going to reload them. Let's see if Equator. Strobe redeem. I did install it, I thought. They even give you like a free version of Max if you didn't buy Second 74 Max. But I already have Max for Live, so.
Gotta love DRM. Pain in the neck.
Yeah, let me see. I thought I had Strobe on here somewhere. I think it's under F expansion. Let's see. Let's go F expansion. No, I didn't. I must have installed on another computer. I haven't touched it for a while. So there's another app. The app by Roli basically bought F expansion, I think. So they have access to Geist, which is a drum machine, Cypher 2, and God, I forgot the name of the other one. Cypher 2 and Strobe 2. And they're really cool, and they're meant to be regular standalone apps.
Yeah.
But you can easily do Roli patches them because the patches have a little 5D next to the name. So if you sort them by 5D, you can just go straight to all the Roli patches in it. And they were very nice. But it's an older app, so it definitely doesn't scale. You can't stretch the screen because they didn't update that.
Right.
But it's pretty cool. What else? And I have a couple other apps. Oh, I have. I wonder how this plays with. I haven't tried the Seaboard with GeForce Access. See how it works with Access.
Well, it looks like 2600.
It's ARPAX, made by GeForce Software, and it sounds awesome. I mean,
yeah,
all their stuff sounds great. But
I'll get the Behringer one someday.
So there's the Seaboard. Okay, so easy to find it. It's probably not going to respond the way I would hope because it's going to act like a regular keyboard, but we'll see. That's kind of funny. Broken ARP. So yeah, I'm not getting the Roli effect with this guy because it doesn't know about those cool settings. It's not behaving the way it should, but it's still playable because it's just acting like a regular keyboard.
Yeah.
There's even a mode on here. There might even be a way to quickly do it without the software to make it a dumb MIDI controller. Like it turns off all the special features.
Okay.
I thought that might be software only though. I have to read the manual again. I forgot. I haven't used it for a long time. So one of the fun things I wanted to try, if I can get it going, is, let's see if this works. I wanted to try, I mentioned this on a previous stream, and I may have even talked about them before as well, but you ever heard of the ODDBall? It's a controller made in the UK. Looks just like a rubber ball.
Oh, okay. You bounce it and it goes boring.
But right now it's off. There's the opposite the charge port. There's a little light down here, and if I bounce it, it should turn on. Yeah, you can see the little light in there. See the little light blinking in there?
Yeah.
So it's currently on, ready to go. And I have a second one. That was a little bit brighter.
And you're going to bounce it.
So they're ready to go. And then I have to go to... Do I still have the app on
MIDI
this?
source. MIDI input.
Yeah, so this is ODDBall app. Okay, allow Bluetooth, yes. Okay. Okay. Don't need tutorial, thank you very much. So it's an iOS app, so I'm blowing it up on the iPad here.
Yep.
Let me quickly pair the thingies, and I'll have to pick an app to sync with it. There's also its own app, which is actually kind of fun enough, because you can load samples into it, or it came with some downloadable content. That was pretty good, too. Don't do that. Bluetooth on. And it doesn't see the balls. I think you have to do the balls to the app. So let's do add. FD2. No. I'm not finding it. That's odd. That's very odd. I can't find the oddball. Let's do... So in weird cases, you can't get your Bluetooth stuff to show up correctly?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's why. They're called something strange in here. No. It's still blinking, right? Oh, I think it timed out. Now it shows up. So it comes up as odd.
Yeah.
Odd. There you go. So add that one. And get the light blinking on that one. Oops. There we go. Light blinking on that one. They should have charged long enough. We'll see how long they last. Because I haven't used them for a while. They were totally dead. Okay. So we're done. So now I can show this. Add sounds to your ball. I'm going to drop this down so you can read it.
It looks like you can record too.
Yeah, you can record, you can load. So add sounds to your ball. So you pick, I'm going to add, I don't need this cable anymore. I'm going to plug this one into the iPad. So we'll do hip hop. Gives you nice graphics for, okay, I want a kick drum. And the other ball is here. So there's two little balls showing up here.
Yep.
So now I'm going to just do kick and snare. Some of the, oh, actually it's paired actually. Some have, like, the harder you throw them, they have two MIDI layers.
Yeah.
So harder gives you one sound, softer gives you another sound, which allows you to do a lot of crazy stuff. So where is a... Okay. Well, I'll just do that one. And you can change the pitch. Stuff like that. Okay. Is that it? So now. Are you getting two different sounds? I can barely hear it.
Yeah, I can hear them both.
So I'm just, just bouncing them on the table. What's fun is you can do these kind of things where you can go. Get these cool like ratcheting effects. That'd be hard to do with the drum machine. Sometimes.
It'd be funny to scare the dog. Throw the ball, and every time
So you can do.
it grabs it, it makes a noise.
So I can just grab them and hit them. You can also slap them too. Little trigger. And just drop them. Let's see, I'm going to drop both at the same time but at different heights. See what happens.
A flam.
So obviously it's not the ideal setup.
I was going to say, there's probably a threshold for sensitivity too, so you can make it.
Yeah, there is. There's some various settings in here you can do. Let me show. So if I want to do, and it has this looper built in, so you can do this. Whatever, it's off, but now I try to add the kick. I can barely hear it on the stream, so let's see what happens here. And it's listening, so I can trash and start over, and just keep going. It'll keep looping.
Yeah.
You can also add. You make different length bars. Here's the sensitive, right? Hypersensitive,
Yep.
tempo, things like that. And there's a shuffle mode. Of course, I can stop it anytime. And there's some other features down here. I forgot what these are. Oh yeah, effects. This is cool. Check this out. You hear that?
Yep. Yeah. Reverb.
So you can do some weird. It's only doing it to the one ball, supposedly. I have to go to the other ball, I think, to get. Now maybe they're global.
There wasn't a thing.
So stuff like that. Here's a record function. I can record my own samples in here. And there's your export. To you can't see at the very bottom. There's a
Cool.
export. So there's microphone. These are the effects. And then export settings. But he has all kinds of stuff in the actual. Go to. All kinds of world sounds. You can add keyboard sounds. You can add ethnic percussion sounds. There's even a little kalimba in here, and an ocarina, hang drum, steel drum. So they added a bunch of stuff for you off the bat,
Yeah.
which is kind of fun.
They could have done much less.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, the way I'm doing it by like dropping it this high off the table, like it's not the best control. The whole thing is to get a rhythm and like stand on a hard surface like concrete floor or some kind of hard floor, and just figure out a bouncing rhythm. And then some people use it for juggling too. Some of these guys got like 3 or 4 of these balls, and they're really good jugglers, and they make music with their juggling.
Oh wow.
If you go look on the video online, there's just 2 British guys that are like street musicians and performance artists, and they just wanted a fun way to make music in the street while they're thinking about it, and along with the rhythms while they're walking down the block, right?
Yeah.
So like you put a little thing on, you could either load a template of some kind if you wanted to get started, and then or turn the metronome on and off, whatever you want to do. So like right now it has no backing track, but you can add a backing track to it and just play on top of it.
Right.
And just while you're going through the streets, just bounce your ball and have fun and bounce it off the wall and get weird bouncing patterns, and then occasionally go up to a surface and barely drop it like this.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you get these cool ratcheting effects. Or let it go really slow. I mean really low where it's like almost vibrating. So that's kind of hard to do on a drum machine.
You can just picture someone saying, "What do they think up next?"
Yeah. But that kind of really quick ratcheting. You know, I can hear it's doing some weird ass stuff to the sound because those filters or whatever. So
We had drumsticks we gave the kids that had similar stuff to this.
yeah, the air drums. You
Yeah.
play in the air. Casio had a set actually hook them to your keyboard,
Yeah.
and they were basically drum pads in a stick,
That's
and
cool.
you could either like really quick whip it and it would trigger, or you hit something.
Right.
But it had like no velocity. It was just on off kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I have a set somewhere. I have the old Casio MT500 with 4 external pads, but I also got the sticks you can plug in instead of the pads. But
Okay.
you get no expression, so
Yeah.
it's fun, but it's not cool.
Right.
You know, it would look good in a video if you're doing like a retro video. It would look. You put some like those glasses with the blinds cut through them. They look like
Right.
window blinds.
Right.
And you put your hair up at an angle, and you put some shiny shirt on, and you play those stupid sticks, and you can do some kind of retro video. Be kind of funny. But so yeah, there's a lot of potential here because again, you don't have to use iPad. You can use iPhone.
Yep.
Put it in your pocket, or put it on a table, and just sit there and make music in the park with your little balls.
Right.
So, and
Or
they're
like a
designed.
little PA speaker to go out and hustle like those guys.
Well, and that's if you watch the video, they show the guys doing street performing because that's really their goal. And people are freaking out because they're jamming along with some music and doing some pretty good rhythms with the balls, and also dancing while they're doing it. So it's a whole visual spectacle, you know.
That's cool.
So that would be, you know, if you're like a street performer, that would totally make sense to do that. But I just like the fact that you could do those little variable things that are very hard to do on a drum,
Yeah. That little
especially with
full
electronic drums.
Yeah, because you're right, because the triggering doesn't quite keep up.
No, either your wrist isn't fast enough, or your roll's not fast enough, or something's off.
Right, because if it's that sensitive, you'll have double triggers all the time.
So it took them a while to make this thing because they kept having like internal breakages. Sensors were too sensitive, or
Yeah.
the material kept falling apart. So they built basically these things to last. They said like 20 years if you use them on a regular basis or more, because they water tested them, they heat tested them, they threw them in the street in the alleyways and stuff. They brick walls, all kinds of shit, and they put up with a lot of abuse. And because this charging port is recessed, the cable going in is like that long, the little pin.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for water to get in there and cause any damage.
Yeah. That's cool.
I mean, if you drop it in water, it's probably not so great, but just a puddle won't kill it. So I thought it was kind of a clever idea. And I believe it also does MIDI. I don't remember. Quick play, my tracks, recent app. I thought it had a MIDI option. It might not, though. Those are effects.
Yeah, it looks like you've been everywhere.
Just sliding your finger across to compose a word. What? Is a search feature?
Oh, for the library.
Oh, to name the track.
Oh,
Right.
name it. Okay.
So,
Where's cancel?
yeah, they you always want to save. You always want to save. Thought I thought there was a connect ball, add sounds, create tracks. I already connected the ball. Okay, so there is no MIDI. I thought it was a MIDI controller as well. But I think technically it is because it's a Bluetooth device. So I haven't tried it yet with other gear. I'm going to try it.
Oh, yeah.
See if I can get it to trigger. I just got to figure out what its MIDI note it's triggering, right?
Yeah, I'll just pull up a different MIDI app on the iPad.
Yeah, it's I could probably, if it stays connected, I could probably just try another app and see. Let's do. Let's see. Can I do? Where's the Bluetooth? Is that Bluetooth? Session 1. Hold on, I can't read this way. MIDI, Bluetooth. Yeah, it's these two.
Hey at 1, by the way.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I'm not going to be on too much longer. I got to go to sleep because I got to get up for Ramsey. It's god awful early. Okay,
Better
so
with
this
the time change, though, isn't it?
just a tiny bit. Yeah, I have fun anyway, so I don't care. But it is. You have to really enjoy doing it. Let's see if Animoog will work with it. Animoog has some good MIDI features on it. Settings, input, odd Bluetooth, so they show up.
That's hopeful.
Let me, so I don't get the program triggering.
I wonder what note it picks.
Well, I'm going to see, where's the volume on this ODDBall app? If I can turn the volume down, I can leave that. Sometimes devices want their app to be running, and they just run the MIDI in the background.
Yeah.
But I don't want the...
You don't want it to hog it.
Well, I also don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the...
Yeah.
Tutorial, quick play, my tracks. Not seeing a volume control. I'll just have to... The whole idea is, does it work or not? I don't care about that. So let's just see. So MIDI Bluetooth is on. There's the... I'm playing the keys on the thingamajig. Let's see what we got here. So you can see they're connected.
Yep. Oh, neat.
Hey, it did it.
Did it. It's doing the app, too.
Yeah. So now I'm going to turn the app off and see if the Bluetooth...
Maybe there's no MIDI off.
It could be. So MIDI panic. Where's MIDI panic on this thing? Panic. It's still stuck.
Change the input for a sec.
I'm just going to kill the app. Oh, that was still running. That's why I had too many apps open. It was trying to trigger the other one.
Ah.
So let's do settings, MIDI, add them both together. Wow.
So it's just single note.
Might be. It could be the app too, the way it works. But see, if it did work, I could use this to route the MIDI to some other thing with the output function.
Yeah.
Let's try just a black one. so the black one. Yeah, the black one's on. It's not triggering. Let's try a percussive sound.
Oh wow, StreamYard lets me pop out your window. That's weird.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Maybe it's because I paid.
Okay, that's a weird one. Let's try this one.
Don't think it's triggering.
Interesting. Maybe it needs the app or something. Yeah. Yeah, something to experiment with.
Yeah, that's cool. Fun.
So
I'm definitely gonna go and get some sleep though.
yeah, I'm getting off shortly, but so there's ODDBall.
Very neat.
But I think it likes its own app. I think that's the deal, which is fine because that's really what I got it for, is not to use it with anything else. But since it is Bluetooth, it would be nice if I could use it with something else. But clearly they didn't plan for that.
Yeah.
So that's the way it goes.
Cool. Well,
So,
thanks
yeah.
for putting the link in the chat. It was
Yeah,
fun.
nice to meet
Nice
you.
to
Thanks for coming by, and more fun stuff to happen.
I'm definitely interested in trying to get my bass to work through that ladder filter, and get better results.
You may have to use a something in between.
Yeah, there's MIDI converter.
No, I mean you just use them for audio, right?
Yeah.
Just an audio. Maybe it's too. Is it too low? That's why it's not triggering in your bass. In
No,
your
it's
Moog?
just it's not. It's not. It doesn't do anything good.
Oh, I
mean,
see.
It's just like adds noise to the signal in a bad way, and it's like it ends up just adding noise. Yeah, it's literally just adding noise.
Do you have any other synths to try the filter on just to see how that sounds?
No. Oh, you mean like things I could pump through it, like a different source?
Yeah.
You don't get much cleaner than a bass. Like boom.
No, I mean not running your bass through another synth, just to see how that sounds.
Well, I have the Helix with effects that have synth effects, but no, I don't have any other hardware.
You don't?
It
Oh,
hasn't
okay.
been- No.
Because the Moog, because if you haven't used the Moog input before, Behringer has quality control issues.
Sure.
It could be something wrong with your input.
I don't know. I was watching, what's his name, Moritz, whatever, go through the Behringer, and he seemed to get the same results, whatever he
Oh, same result? Okay. All right. So that's, yeah.
It's just basically to overload the circuit, and it adds noise to the thing, and you can turn the knob to make it more gain and more noise.
Right.
But it's not musically pleasing in a way that I was hoping.
No, because when you do the proper Moog overdrive effect, where you overdrive itself,
Yeah.
that sounds amazing.
It does, but it's not nothing to do with what I'm playing on the bass. It just triggers it.
It's just doing.
I don't
Oh, I
want to
see.
just trigger that.
I see.
back
Okay.
On top of something I can play with my feet.
I get it. Okay.
That's
right.
not right.
Yeah.
That's not what I want.
That's too bad.
But I'll bet you one of my soft synths probably has a way of me to put a source for that'd be like the sine wave of my bass. Would probably get better results. I'm gonna play with that tomorrow.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because I know people have been doing that for a long time. I have a friend who I went to high school with. He was a grade above me. We used to work at a video store together, and he's gotten up in the ranks. I mean, he's not a household name or anything like that, but he's friends with the guys in Metallica. He gets to go to the Grammys. He's played. He's opened for Cheap Trick at the Warfield in San Francisco. I got to see them play before. So he's been in a few bands, and he's a really good bass player. And he's not shy about. He'll use effects on bass. I know a lot of people don't use effects on bass. He was even going to buy a bass Gizmotron. You know about the Gizmotron?
I've heard of it a little bit. Yeah.
So they were going to reissue it about 10 years ago. I don't know what happened with it, but they were to make a guitar and a bass one.
Yeah.
And he was going to buy the bass one, but I think they never made it.
I bought a couple of years ago. My son and I bought a bunch of components to build a Moog, whatever you say.
Yeah.
And the there's a couple things I'm missing, like those match diodes and stuff like that. But I bet you I have the components to make the ladder filter. Like I got circuit boards and everything, and I got all the components to put in them. But I don't know if I'm that skilled yet to go back and remember my electronics from 40 years
So
ago.
I used to play with, Craig Anderton.
Yeah.
So he used to produce Electronic Musician magazine. I'm not sure if he still does or not.
Yeah.
But they
in New England. That's a name from New England. Ron
yeah,
Barber.
I first heard about him through just these little books that came out, Electronic Projects for Musicians.
Yep.
And I bought it like all excited, like, oh, cool, because I had like cheap Casios back then, nothing fancy. But I was learning electronics from magazines and stuff and go to Radio Shack and buying parts. So I thought, I could make some of these. It had a flexi disc in there so you could hear what you were going to build if you did it right and you knew how to hook it all up. So I thought, I made like a filter bank thing. I made a talk box with just a horn driver and some tubing and some other suggestions he had in there to make it sound better. And so I had a talk box for like $25.
That's cool.
Way before I had a vocoder or anything else like that. And that was a blast. But some of the stuff he had in there didn't look that hard, but I think my soldering skills just sucked. Because I'd go, that doesn't sound right. This is junk. I didn't spend a lot of time. Sorry, I didn't spend a lot of money on this stuff. I spent a fair amount of time doing it and sourcing the parts, because some of the parts are weird. I had to get them from different places. And it could just be that the surplus parts I bought from the local surplus store were just bad. But I more think, because the solder was pretty sloppy. I probably had some cold joints and some other stuff that wasn't so great. But
you should breadboard it first too and make sure it works.
Well, I'm a beginner. I didn't know any of that shit. So I'm like, I'm going to do what he did. So I was making I got the etching tank. I got the resist ink pen. I made my own boards. I drilled out the holes. So although that's kind of more advanced than breadboarding, it's also a hell of a lot easier than breadboarding. Because
I did photolithography professionally for a while.
Yeah, I used to photocopy the circuits in the magazines they had, because they were 1-to-1. And so I could just use a resist ink pen, draw them on the copper plates, drop them in the tank, come back, hey, it's all done. Drill the holes, put the components. It's super easy, and then just solder, and it was a hell of a lot easier than all the damn breadboard wiring shit.
But today you just go online to the circuit places, and I ordered it, and it cost me $25. I got
exactly,
holes,
like PCB way and stuff like that.
I got all the boards for the Moog. It wasn't even that expensive. It was unbelievable, and I got 5 of them because I figured 1 and 5 almost cost the same. Get 5.
And I have a lot of modular stuff, but I with all my past experience, I'm like, I don't want to build modules. I want to buy modules. I want them to work. So I know, but I want them to work, and I don't want to nickel and dime stuff and end up wasting more time getting it to work than if I just bought it. So
the kit we bought to solder together, we found out later it wasn't our fault. We couldn't get it to work. It wasn't our fault. It sucked. It was really...
Yeah, see, that's also a problem too, because even though it's not your fault, all that time and grief from all that stuff, at this point, time sometimes is more precious than money. If I have the money, so I'll say fuck it, I'll just buy it and I want it to work. But I totally get the DIY thing. I mean, you're making stuff some guys don't even sell; they just sell you the parts because no one wants to buy the circuit, or they're too expensive to buy them pre-made. So I totally like the Deckard's Dream is insane though. Like it took Robin Vincent like I don't know how many months to put this together because it's just so much stuff to do and it's a lot of money and you got to source all the parts and you break something you got to troubleshoot it. Oh man, what a nightmare!
Because even an oscilloscope's $25.
Yeah, I mean I have. I used to work at some laser companies and stuff, and the guys used to give me the oscilloscopes they're getting rid of because they're fine. They just wanted the digital ones. So they gave me several analog ones that are awesome.
Yeah, I got a couple junk ones in the cellar too.
And I used to hook them to my Moog Rogue so I could learn how to make different waves from the different filters because you could hear it kind of, but you weren't quite sure if you were there. And so I learned how to make a sine wave on my Moog Rogue when it doesn't have a sine wave, just from using an oscilloscope. So that was kind of fun because I knew I was close, but I wanted to see the nice shape, and it really helped. It was like, oh, that's so cool.
You visualize it.
And then I eventually had the free ones you get on the iPhone, like Oscope and OscLab and all these other weird Oscope, and And they work great, and they're just, I'm not using it for circuits, I'm using it for audio. So who cares if it's super accurate? It gives you the waves you need. And you also see the harmonics too, which is nice.
They actually work better with circuits in lower voltage, and it's more predictable.
Do they?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the digital stuff especially.
Digital, yeah. So yeah,
I
that's
gotta
all.
Get I gotta get
No worries, yeah.
get some sleep. But,
Yeah, good talking to you.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Good night,
See ya.
everybody.
All right. With that, I'm also going to do that because I need to get some rest before Ramsey, and I got to do a few more things before I go to bed. So I am going to check a couple things here. And so other than a few audio problems by doing something weird on this old Mac, seemed to work okay. So there you had a Life demo from that little Life app. You had PhasePlant, not FacePlant, no. Although if you don't set it up right, it is like a faceplant. And ODDBall demo with the app. So more goofy stuff to come at another time. And thanks everybody for showing up. And that will do it. Catch you guys later. Stay synthy.